again. Oh, I love it. The voices filling up our sanctuary. And Hine Matov, how wonderful it is for us to be together in not just this moment, in all moments, but especially this moment, because not only is it Shabbat, it is Chol HaMoed Sukkot, the one holiday where we are literally commanded to be joyful and to celebrate for 8 days. And you'll hear a little bit why 8. You'll hear a little later. So please join me in the words of Hine Matov. If you would like to follow along in the Hebrew, you can find the words on page 340. First me, then you. How good it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. We turn to page 2 to begin our official welcoming to Shabbat, and we invite up our vice president, our president-elect, who will help us bring light into Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
So with that, we bring in all of this energy, the Shabbat light, and especially tonight, this joy as we chant our bracha together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu shel Shabbat. And we turn to page 5, as we bless creation.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. It'll be good. Thank you, Shannon. And we turn to our Lechadodi on page 20. And L'chadodi is a liturgical poem. In Hebrew, it's called a piyut, that welcomes Shabbat. And if you take a moment as we are praying these words together to look at the different translations and the different explanations on the pages, you'll see that this text is rich with symbolism and metaphor. And this particular setting by Craig Taubman really elevates and expresses the exuberance and joy we feel at the arrival of Shekhinah, this feminine presence of God, the divine Shabbos bride. Please join with us. We rise, and as we prepare for our Baruch, I invite you to please read with me on the top of page 29, and we'll rise and we'll read these words together, and then we'll continue on to our Baruch on the previous page, 28. Don't worry, I'll guide you. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. We read together, there is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song, Nivarech, let us bless. We continue with Baruch Hu, our formal call to worship, page 28. et Adonai hamevorach. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach We remain standing as we read together on the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who brings on the evening. And we continue now with that sense of twilight, that like a blanket, that darkness washing over us, as we stand in the oneness and the presence of Adonai with our Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael all of my commandments, as we move toward our Michamocha prayer, we'll join responsively first on the bottom of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth together. The high heavens declare your glory, and the earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Together. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Together, let us continue to work for the day when nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Micha Mocha, page 40. If you don't have a sukkah in your yard this year, build one. Build one with your heart. Make sure a wall is open and loved ones, sacred guests, and fresh air are welcome. And you are always willing to see the stars. Jennifer R. Zunikov. And so here we are on Shabbat. We're going to sing these words in a minute that are a part of our Hashkivenu prayer. And you can find them either at the bottom of 42, they're located there, and they're also located on the bottom of 43, so you can pick where you want to look. Haporei Sukkot Shalom. We, in this moment, are both praying to God and blessing God. We're praying to God as we are the people of Israel, just newly freed from slavery and entering the desert. We are in a place where we really don't know where we are. We are truly wondering. And it's that Sukkot, that Sukkot, those temporary dwelling places, the tents, that followed us all the way through our journey, all the way to Israel, the land of Canaan, the promised land. And it is also the Sukkot Shalom, we're blessing God, praying to God, please wrap us in your Sukkot Shalom, your wings of peace, wherever we are, whether we're back newly freed from physical slavery or in the present moment. What is it that you are newly freed from in this moment? What is it that you can move toward as you feel that Sukkot Shalom, the wings of peace around you? We join together. Baruch atah Adonai haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Let's sing that again. Baruch atah Adonai haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'o Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'o Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'o Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'o Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. We move now from that Sukkot Shalom, and we finally make it to Sinai, and we receive the 10 Commandments, part of which is to keep Shabbat, Yismechu v'malachutcha. We are literally commanded to delight, rejoice, and celebrate in Shabbat. And this particular setting, composed by Michael Isaacson, exudes that kind of celebration and joy that is reminiscent of reveling in the sacred time together. And we'll hear that in this almost light dance-like feel, and also with this steady, energetic pulse. The chorus will repeat time and time again, so it makes it accessible for everyone to participate in communal singing, joining our voices together, whether you are humming quietly along on the syllable of your choice, or you are singing with your full voice. We join together. Page 44. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomrei Shabbat. Let's try that together. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. keep a hold of that Shabbos joy, we turn now to the most vulnerable, the most intimate part of our service, our tefillah, our amidah, our standing prayer. We'll join together on page 46 and continue together with the next 3 paragraphs as we rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. We turn the page. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. This is the last Shabbos of summer. Morid hatah, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Melech memid umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. I mentioned that this was the last Shabbat of summer. Clearly it feels like fall. So what did I mean? Well, we chanted, if you look in the teeny tiny writing, near the top of page 50, you see Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, winter, and you see Morid Hatal, summer. And so we are preparing to welcome Simchat Torah and Shmini Atzeret this week. And in that moment, we will switch from praying for dew, for Israel, not for here, to praying for rain, for Geshem. So we turn now. I invite you all to be seated as we turn to page 60, as we send out through our hearts, our souls, our voices, Shalom Rav, this abundant peace to everybody who lives in the world. Join with us. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Hu Melech Kadosh. invite you now to take a moment to add your own prayers to our tefillah. Our own individual prayers of the heart are completed, we join together as a community and we think of all those who are in need of healing of body, in need of healing of soul, of mind, of spirit. And so in this moment, as we turn to our Mishaberach on page 253, I invite you to hold all those names in your heart, including your own, as we send out this prayer for a refuah shlema, complete healing. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Gonna do a little switch. One day more. Another day, another destiny, this never-ending road to Calvary. These men who seem to know my crime will surely come a second time. One day more, I did not live until today. How can I live when we are parted? One day more, tomorrow you'll be worlds away, and yet with you, my world has started. If you are like me and a big fan of musical theater, you'll recognize these words. They're from one of my favorite musicals, one of the first musicals I ever learned, Les Miserables. These words represent the twists and turns of each character, their yearning and desire to hang on just a little bit longer to one more day of freedom, one more day of a new life, one more day with a new love. Have you ever felt this way? As a mommy, I feel this way every day. I want one more hug, one more snuggle before I send Lavender off to school or off to sleep at night. As soon as she is gone, I want her back. The end cap of Sukkot, Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret, which is coming quickly and on this Sunday and Monday, captures this sentiment of lingering or holding on for just one more day. Shmini Atzeret is officially the 8th day of the Festival of Booths, or Sukkot, and it is designated in the Torah as a solemn gathering, an Atzeret. That is what the Torah translation is. However, the 11th century rabbinic commentator Rashi explains that Atzeret is derived from the root ayin tsadi resh, or as we would say it, atzar. Well, atzar means to hold back. Rashi explains that this atzeret is similar to the case of the story of a king who invited his children to stay with him for a number of days. And when the time comes to a close, it's time for his children to leave, to go on with their lives and off back to their families. The king says, Kashe alai pere datechem. Children, I beg of you, stay one more day with me. It is hard for me to part with you. Rashi is telling us that after the joy and intensity of Sukkot, as the culmination of these high holy days, God craves just one more day with us. Separation from you, my people, pains me, says the Holy One. Please linger just a little bit longer. Let us savor the sweetness of the connection that we have created. Let us pause for one moment more to honor and integrate the depth of our encounter. Don't go just yet. Along with approaching this moment in our Jewish calendar, we are approaching the final parsha in the Torah. Now, because we are in the intermediary days of Sukkot, it is not read on Shabbat, but rather is chanted on Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah, which again falls this Sunday night and Monday morning. Sunday night, we're going to be here celebrating our kiddos and welcoming them to learning from the Torah, and Monday we'll be here together celebrating the festival and also observing Yizkor. It is in this context of the sacred pause, this holding back of Atzeret, that we read this Torah portion called V'zot HaBracha, Moses' final parting blessings to the tribes of Israel. So we can imagine this sense of painful separation, these words we heard from Rashi, Kashe alai peredatechem. This idea that both Moses and the tribes of Israel feel this painful separation, this desire to linger on together in these final moments. Standing on the precipice of death, Moses begins, V'zot habracha, asher berach Moshe ish ha-Elohim et b'nei Yisrael lifnei moto. Torah tziva lanu Moshe, morasha kehilat Yaakov. This is the blessing with which Moses, God's agent, bade the Israelites farewell before he died. Moses charged us with the Torah as the heritage of the congregation of Jacob. So Moses here is speaking in the third person. He's referring to himself. He identifies himself as the one who transferred these great teachings, this wisdom from on high, referring to the Torah, either however you think about it, divinely inspired and or given by God, to all of the people in eternal perpetuity. So what does this really mean? A pillar of the 19th century Hasidic movement, the Sifat Emet, utilizes a quote from Ecclesiastes to comment on the wisdom of Moses' gift that he offers to the people Israel in this Torah portion. The Sifat Emet says, "Great was the strength of Moses, our teacher, who bequeathed the Torah to all generations. As it is written," we just heard, "Moses charged us with the Torah as the heritage of the congregation of Jacob." About Moses, it is said, here comes the quote from Ecclesiastes, "Wisdom is as good as an inheritance." The Sifat Emet explains here that whenever one acquires wisdom for oneself, it is not yet complete goodness. It is not complete. But to bequeath the strength of your wisdom to all of Israel, in this case, as Moses does, that is complete goodness. And this is what happened with Moses, our teacher. May his memory protect us all. What the Sifat Emet is saying, as Moses encounters his death, he realizes his impermanence, and he focuses not on what he acquired, the Torah directly from God, but what he has given to the tribes of Israel, the gift of Torah in perpetuity for all time. Moses reminds the people that the Torah he gave to them in his life is to be what they say in Hebrew, their nachla, their inheritance going forward. It belongs to them now. They will own it. They will augment it. And they will pass it along. Think about that. This letting go. Once it's out there, it's out there. It's not yours anymore. This, says the Sifat Emet, is the essence of wisdom. The recognition that insight is only useful if it is shared, if it becomes a nachala. So you heard two Hebrew words, nachla and nachala. Nachala means inheritance, and its root is nachal, which means stream or river. When wisdom, Moses' gift to people through Torah, becomes a nachala, a gift, it also becomes a nachal. It flows like a river. Imagine this eternal river as it meanders and curves through the earth. This knowledge, as it changes and grows, must be nurtured. It cannot be shared all at once, like a raging Category 5 water rapid. It has to gently and slowly incorporate that which is newly picked from its currents into its ancient clay remnants. Incidentally, Ecclesiastes is the text associated with Sukkot. Both the Sukkah structure and Ecclesiastes illuminate this flowing, cyclical poignancy of impermanent life. We come back over and over again to the feeling that Rashi describes as kashet alai peredatechem, this painful separation, this wanting to hold on. So in commanding us to observe this atzeret, this moment of holiness, of holding back, God wants to hold on to us just a little bit longer. And we also want to hold on to God for just a moment more. We also want to linger with our dear ones. Moses and the people of Israel want to hold on to each other just one day more. We experience this bittersweet separation in this time of temporal change. What the Sefat Emet, this Torah portion, and Rashi all teach us in this moment of Zot HaBracha, as we are culminating, we're literally crashing against our Sukkot holiday, is that we cannot solely hold on to what we have learned. For our wisdom to continue, we must let it go so it can grow and change. As you reflect upon the close of this year, I invite you to consider the following. What are 2 or 3 of the most important pieces of wisdom you have acquired? What do you hope to pass on when the time comes for you to let them go? Have you ever bequeathed something to someone else? And what was it? A teaching, a memory, an object? Was there a spiritual quality to that encounter in that moment? Is there a spiritual quality of it in your memory? And what might it be? Have you ever experienced this kind of intense desire to linger, not to leave a moment? And if so, what did you decide to do? Why? If not, why do you think that might be? The verse from Ecclesiastes I mentioned earlier continues. Tova chokhmah im nachala v'yoter l'roeh hashemesh. Wisdom is as good as an inheritance, and even better for those who behold, or literally ro'eh, who see the sun, those who recognize the passage of time and nature, who understand when it is time to linger and hold on and when it is time to let go. A time will come when it is our turn to pass along our wisdom into that flow. When that time arrives, what do you hope to pass on? Everything that I hope to pass on is summed up through my voice, the extension of my soul, my connection to God and peoplehood and Judaism and all of its wisdom. Chazan and composer Ben Steinberg illustrates these ideas through his setting of a slightly different text from Ecclesiastes, one that I expect or suspect is familiar to all of us. To everything, there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven. Listen to the opening florid movement in the piano that illuminates the rustling of leaves, their fall drifting at play with the wind. This introduction is a contrast to the entrance of the melody in the voice, which elicits the steady movement of that slowing Nahal river. A time will come when it is our turn to pass along our wisdom into that flowing river. When that time arrives, what do you hope to pass on? Ken Hi Ratzon, may this be God's will. And if you would like to see an example of the text, it's in the back of your Siddur and the songs, but there's some English that comes. You'll hear it.
Shamayim
Atat, veit lakor latoa, et laharok, veit lirpo, et livros, veit livnot. Lakor zaman, veit lechol chefetz, tachat hashamayim. Lakor zaman, veit lechol chefetz, tachat hashamayim. A time for birth and a time for death, a time to plant and a time to uproot the planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear and a time to build. Lakor zaman, veit lechol chefetz, tachat To everything there is a time and a season as we turn under heaven. We rise together as we move to conclude our service on page 283 with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shehu sam chelkeinu liached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lehamlich malachuto, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, mochei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. We turn now to our thoughts of all of those who are no longer with us, those who are recent memories, and those who stood beside us, who sung beside us decades and generations ago. Tonight, our congregation remembers those of Dr. Stanley Frager, Jose Maza, Alan Baker, Max Borenstein, Bernice Kozlow, Annette Vine Gale, Vera Gross, Stanley Lowenstein, Yandel Okun, Ruth Okun, Elsa Weil, Celia Diamond, Roger Prezant, Ruth Sobel, Rona Dichter, David Fleischaker, Norma Perazzelli, Benjamin Rubin, Dorothy Bass, Louis Brownstein, Lawrence Richard D., Ada England, Joshua Fink, Augusta Lang, David Margulis, Edward Sag, Sylvia Waller, Leon Blumenson, Ruth Gerstein, Bruce Harrow, Samuel Jacobson, Lois Joseph, Jacob Carl Turk, Irving Coslow, Sydney Dichter, Irene Dworin Rosenfield, Nettie Tostein, Helene Zukoff, Isabella Gottlieb, Morris Perlmutter, Hortense Platoff Sando, Harriet Spiegel, Dorothy Wasserman. And if you are remembering the name of someone, I invite you to hold them in your heart as we turn to our Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. We say together, Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chiruteh ve'amlich malachuteh, Be'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiron be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'rumav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. We say amen. Please be seated. We're going to conclude our service with these words and melody of the folk singer Ruth Pelham, The Turning of the World. We'll learn it together. I'll guide you. Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. Try with me. Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let's try with every voice, with every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. With every voice, with every song, oh, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. We sing about loving. Let us sing this song for the loving of the world, that we may love as one. With every voice, with every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our loving. With every voice, with every song, oh, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, Shabbat Shalom. Please say hello to someone new and introduce yourself. And please join me at our oneg in the back. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.